Tonight, we hunt the rare survivors of the TMNT vintage line.
That'd be the Farmer Mike set here. I believe this was 1993.
And explore modern halls that keep our store functional.
Ooh, vintage. Obviously, we love vintage. We love to get it in, but that's not the stuff that makes the store go around.
Detail versus nostalgia.
You like the modern NECA stuff? Do you prefer the vintage line exclusively?
We also settle the age-old question of who's the best turtle with an old-fashioned racing beatdown. And he hits the sidewall again!
Good afternoon. Very clean. How you are, sir?
Liam Hawk here, reporting live from Second Chance Toys with a question for all of our viewers out there. Do you like Ninja Turtles, and more specifically, do you like the modern NECA stuff or the reissue Playmates? Or do you prefer the vintage line exclusively? The reason we are asking this question is we have just gotten in a pretty large collection of the NECA stuff along with the modern reissue things, and we had the discussion of, you know, which is better? Which do you prefer? Do you like the modern articulation and detail, or is it the memories and the nostalgia that you get from the vintage line that maybe you prefer more? So join me today as we take a look at our vintage case along with our newly acquired modern Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles toys. So I want to talk about a couple of the cool things in our vintage Ninja Turtle case here. A personal favorite of mine, anytime we get it in, is going to be the Farmer Mike set here. I believe this was 1993. This is just one of those weird variants that they did towards the end of the line. Personally, I just think it's really goofy and ridiculous, and that's why it's awesome. We've got another couple of pieces in here you guys might recognize. Obviously the Technodrome, the Mutant Module, the Party Wagon, the Flying Foot Cruiser, the Muta Carrier, I believe it's called, which came out again later in the line in 92. Tons of different figures in here, a lot you guys are going to recognize. One that's really cool that I would love to point out here is we have both versions of Toca. We have the movie variant and the cartoon version. I mean, it's the exact same figure, just with a different paint, you know, application to it. Personally, I like the movie one more. I just think that the colors and the spots on them pop a little bit more in the case. We don't have the other version of Rahzar that has the eye black makeup. However, this is the version with the no black makeup around the eyes. And I think part of what made this line so cool was the amount of molded detail that were on these figures. We've got a great selection here. We've got the full set of the Toon Turtles here. These were designed to look more like what you would see on the show as compared to the original figures from '88. We've got some uncommon figures in here. We've got a King Lionheart. We've got a Sergeant Bananas. Just a ton of great pieces in here, guys. So again, we're always updating our Turtles case with new stuff. Something else really quick to point out is we've got a lot of odd end things, you know, a flashlight, a little compass here, a little, just different little games and such. And these were items that, you know, you could find at, you know, your local Dollar General maybe back in the day, or Walmart in the clearance aisles. Just they were putting Turtles on whatever they could to sell. And, you know, 30 years later, 40 years later, and as time continues, it'll continue to appreciate and value, because these weird items are the items that just didn't sell, and it's super cool to see. All right, so something else we really wanted to showcase is the Turtle Blimp here. Now this one is nothing special. This is the reissue one, but the cool one that we wanted to show was this one up here. As you can probably tell, the art is different on the balloon itself. This was a redone version, I believe 2 or 3 years after the original Blimp came out, that Playmates did. This is the one that's more accurate to the show. However, this one is different in the fact that it's just painted different. There's different details on it and such. Personally, I prefer the original one more. It's the classic one that you would see on the show. However, Turtle fans are always out there looking for the odd, obscure pieces, and this is certainly one of them. We've also got a pretty awesome selection of sealed vintage figures. These are some of the highlights of our collection that we have here. We have 2 of the Universal Monsters figures. These were some of my favorite variants, obviously being a horror guy, seeing these, you know, these variants here are super awesome. They are also unpunched. We've got Frankenstein Mikey, and we've got Leo as the Wolfman. Now, something interesting with these figures as well is they came out with different Upon variants because there were different color weapon sets that you could get. Some other cooler figures as we have are the Apollo 11 Turtles. We've got a Raph and a Mikey here. I've seen these at, you know, conventions before and such, but I never see these guys. Again, they came out later in the line, and when you flip to the back, you can see some other characters you could get. one of which is Shogun Shote. But these were some of the coolest carded figures that we currently have in our Turtles collection.
So we had about 15 collections walk in. There was one guy, his name was Joseph, super nice dude. He came in and he had like 1 box was retro and like 3 boxes are NECA. But as we go through this stuff, we'll show you what's going on. We'll get these on the shelves for you. I came in on Monday specifically to get this stuff out for you guys this coming up week. Beat Bop sells for 35 and pretty much everybody else is about 20 bucks. Because usually whenever you have stuff like this, there is 1 figure in each case that's going to be short print. So maybe that's the one. I'm not in it, so I don't know. Somebody in the comments will probably be able to say. Like the Time Force Toys R Us Megazord 2-pack, that was pretty cool. Being able to have somebody in the comments that's somewhat of an aficionado, I guess. So here's some good stuff. Good stuff. Obviously subjective, but NECA Turtles are pretty cool. And there was probably somebody that went, ooh, vintage, but...
I think that the term good stuff, though, has become synonymous with vintage.
It's kind of weird. I mean, we would still consider that to be good stuff, but what keeps our store incredibly functional is definitely your higher end meaning any like 20 and plus Marvel Legends, the modern Transformers, I mean, the better Star Wars Black Series stuff. Like that's the stuff that really keeps us going. Obviously we love vintage, we love to get it in. Vintage to us meaning certain 90s toy lines and backwards. But that's not the stuff that makes the store go around. I think the one thing about modern toys is that the market continuously fluctuates. That's the one thing about modern toys that is kind of neat. Neat in a good and bad way. Neat because it's kind of cool to be able to follow those trends. So like if you know a movie's coming out that has a specific character in it, if you go relook up that character, like as soon as they announced Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom, every Dr. Doom figure went up by $40. Tons of Turtle 2-packs. Everybody loves Kino. I remember when that set came out, everybody was asking if we had that. Splinter Shredder 2-pack. The movie stuff is the stuff that everybody looks for. And Casey Jones, April O'Neil, that's cool. It's neat, and it came out in 2021. So yeah, that's odd. I mean, there's a couple of these, I guess, that we haven't had yet. Just Foot Soldier 2-pack, it's cool. Everybody likes to army build. Leo and Donnie, and then the last set's gonna be Mikey Raph. Look at that, Mikey Raph. This would be the Last Ronin box. It's got 1 creature Leo in there. That's gonna be what's in the bottom box. And then the 2-pack Secret of the Ooze, Toca and Rahzar. The Last Ronin is a book for Turtles that came out, when did that book release? 2 years ago?
It was a little bit longer ago than that.
2, 3, 4, something like that. Well, spoiler alert, bleep it out if you don't wanna know, but Mikey's the Last Ronin.
For me, I really like these Turtles. They were the first ever NECA products that I ever purchased. Also, like, I grew up with the movie, huge fan of the movie, but these were what I had as my representation of Turtles in my collection. So I had the 4 Turtles. So this is Leo and Donnie pack. This is the Raphael and Michelangelo pack, but then I had a Shredder and then I had Splinter.
It is cool to see in this quantity. I will say that. They're all sealed and pretty neat. There's actually some figures like this Last Ronin Donnie. They're kind of cool.
Donnie kind of let himself go in the later years.
Like definitely a comic aesthetic. So if you guys like that, I highly recommend these. First of all, Raph, you can put arrows in. Comes with all these arrows and he's got holes. There's one on his shin right here. But I think most of them are on his back. We just came to the conclusion that these make a scene on the side of the box, which is kind of cool.
Let me come around and I can't see it.
He's pretty cool. A Footbot.
They just run out of Foot Clan soldiers, like.
I mean, imagine this.
Well, this is distant future, right?
I think so.
In a future battle ravaged New York City. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I imagine, after the Ninja Turtles have been kicking your ass for years and years and years, it's kind of hard to recruit.
Toca and Rahzar pack is awesome, but it was re-released so many times, which is good for the fans that that won it. It's a lot of plastic, you get a lot of accessories. They're sculpted really well. Baby turtle accessory set. That's a bunch of pizza that's way larger than they are because they're tiny little baby turtle. It's cool. They all have these derpy faces on. And the last box here that Joseph brought in is maybe the full run of the Universal Turtles. He's gonna be expensive. Invisible Man. We put one out loose, complete, and he was considerably more valuable than I thought he would be. Most of these guys are new enough to where they're pretty readily available. One of the cool things about Mummy Mikey, if you're a Turtles guy, you know this already, but one of the cool things about Mummy Mikey is that this head right here, the one where his teeth are showing, is modeled after the suits that they wore in the movie and like the degradation over time. And that's what that actually looks like. Like if you go look up a picture of the heads, like they're all decayed and like they kind of look mummified. Some of the accessories they come with are pretty cool. Like this Bride of Frankenstein, April, these rats down here, one's got an eyeball on his back and one's got an ear. It's just so wacky. Phantom Casey Jones. We've had him loose. He sculpted and painted really well. Creature Leo. For those of you that don't know, my dad's favorite Universal monster is Creature from the Black Lagoon. He loves anything creature, so he'd probably like this. He's kind of like me though, like we're not the biggest fans of crossovers. As far as crossovers go, Universal Turtles are pretty neat.
So anytime I'm at the Turtles case, I always look at Donnie and I always think to myself, he's my favorite turtle. And obviously I have a million reasons why, but it makes me curious, you know, looking at the other turtles, who other people's favorite turtle is. All right, man, so give us your name and who your favorite turtle is and why.
What's up? I'm Ben. I'm gonna have to go with Yosagi Jimbo, the astronaut variant.
Donatello. Have to go with Raphael.
Michelangelo.
Raphael.
Your favorite Ninja Turtle character and why?
Yo, my name is Jules. My favorite Ninja Turtle character is probably Mikey. My first show was the 2012 Ninja Turtles, and I always just thought he was the coolest.
Who would you say?
That's a pretty easy answer, man. It's Leo. Not even close.
Leonardo.
Leonardo.
All right, Daniel, so who is your favorite Ninja Turtle character and why?
Raphael, because he taught me my first curse word.
So when discussing Ninja Turtles, inevitably, one question always arises, oftentimes leading to tense, heated exchanges.
Who's the best turtle?
Clearly, this question can't be answered through normal means, so we must turn to another method. We will answer this question once and for all through the crucible of motorsport. Welcome to Second Chance Toys International Action Figure Speedway. This 36-foot stretch of smooth tile laminate is the perfect location for an action figure competition. Here's how this will work. We have 4 vintage Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle party wagons, each with a different turtle inside. They will be pushed down this track, awarded points for both speed and distance. If the wagon makes it all the way down to the far end of this track, they will be awarded bonus points for that. To help propel each wagon down our track, we've assembled a team of 4 racers, each one representing a different turtle. Racing for Leonardo, Toy Cross legend Chris. Racing for Donatello, Toy Cross legend Liam. Racing for Michelangelo, Toy Cross legend Kent. And lastly, for Raphael, I'll be taking the reins. With the racing order being determined randomly, I'll be up first.
And Luke pulled up to the track today. He looks a little nervous. Can he pull it off? And he's gonna make the shoot, and he hits the sidewall.
Next up, Kent for Michelangelo.
Kent looking a little strong here. He's coming off very confident, very confident. He's gonna be adjusting his form there, making sure he's got everything good and ready to go. All right, Kent, here we go. And he does a straight shot, and it lands across the side. It does very well.
Now it's Chris for Leonardo.
Chris getting some attention to detail from that manager back there. All right, and he shoots. Oh, and he hits the wall, and he hits the sidewall again.
And finally, Liam for Donatello.
Liam looking very confident here. And he goes for a straight shot, and it aces. Holy crap. And that ultimately makes Kent the winner.
For Kent, our winner, you will receive a vintage, unused Ninja Turtles Band-Aid to bandage your wounds from the race. As consolation for the losers, you will each receive a vintage pack of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles tissues, ironically enough, each with our individual turtles on them. So I will take Raph, you have Donatello, and Leonardo for you.